We are in the wilderness out here. There's some sort of ominous rope with hooks right there. It's like you almost killed me. What do we do with this? You're right on a rock, bro. No way. Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Welcome to Now Streaming.
Dude, what a day.
I can't believe how perfect the weather has really turned out to be. And this water's moving a little bit too. This is gonna be fun.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be really fun.
There's a couple spots. We're not talking whitewater rapids for Franklin, Tennessee, but you know, there's something coming up here.
Whoa.
Yep, I thought I might get stuck here. Okay.
Let's see.
Come on, baby.
We can do it.
Going over some rocks.
Okay, I'm almost free here. Are you stuck?
A little bit.
All right. I might be too.
I think if we get over there, I think we're good.
I think we're good too.
That's the thicker part of it. There you go.
Here we go. Okay. All right, so we are a few minutes in and I already lost Ben Zobrist. That's probably not great.
We made it. I think the camera's still on.
Hey there, just wanted to pop in and say thank you so much for watching this episode of Now Streaming. Robin and I really hope you're enjoying it. Subscribe to the channel for more. It helps us make sure that we can keep making episodes. I hope you enjoyed the rest of this one. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to Now Streaming, the show where I get to talk to people that inspire me, that are doing big things to serve others in this world. Today, we have got an incredible episode. I'm not even sure how we got here, but I'm incredibly excited about it. We have a two-time World Series champion, the 2016 Chicago Cubs MVP. Man, welcome, Mr. Ben Zobrist.
This is the most unique podcast I have ever done.
That's
no doubt. I'm digging this because this is being out in nature is one of my favorite things, and we are here on a beautiful day.
Yeah.
In the Harpeth River,
yeah.
Franklin, Tennessee.
We're here. This is home.
This is awesome. This is home for me. Yeah.
Incredible.
I've been out on this river a few times. This is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Thanks for taking the time to come out and have a little adventure. The goal is that we'll stay on the boats and come out the other side. But we don't know what's between here and the outpoint, so we'll just kind of see what happens. I'm incredibly.
Never know. I don't think we have whitewater rapids, but I guess we're going to find out.
If so, as long as we keep Robin in the boats, I think we'll be okay.
That is the cutest dog I've ever seen. Jeez.
Hey, tell us, do you have experience kayaking, paddling? Is this your first time? What's your experience like?
I have kayaked a couple times before. When I've been on this river particularly, I've done a couple kayaks, but one bigger boat, canoe, trying to go down this little river. But yeah, these are set up well. I'll say I'm comfortable right now.
Good.
So yeah, I hopefully we can get the whitewater rapids out of the way.
Yeah, right on. We had a really splashy start to the episode, and it was pretty exciting. But we made it. We're on to still waters. This is really good. So Ben, I want to talk about a bunch of different things today. I've got a lot of curiosities and fascinations about your journey. So I just want to say again, thanks for having this interview. This is going to be awesome.
Absolutely.
So I want to know from your perspective in life right now, I want to talk about the morning of Zen Zobrist.
Zen Zobrist. I like that. I think I should go with that.
That's just a little stroke. That's all it is. That's all it is. But I want to hear about something I'm curious about with people is like their daily habits. You know, talk to me about exercise in the morning. What are you eating? What's a normal morning for Ben look like?
Okay, so right now I am surviving on coffee and agave up to this point in the day. most days I am not really eating breakfast. I'm putting some collagen protein in my coffee, some agave. I love a good latte when I get to go out and get coffee somewhere else. Vanilla latte. Yes, I'm a vanilla latte drinker. And
No shame.
And then I think lunch today maybe we might have some subs. I love a good sub for food wise.
Yeah.
Dinner can be anything. I'm actually right now doing Hungry Root. For those that know what Hungry Root is,
they should sponsor the podcast.
You order food and it comes to your door, and I do a lot of that with my meals with my kids and whatnot. So I do some healthy eating, some not so healthy eating at times. It's a little different than when I played ball, but like I feel really healthy and good, even though I'm not getting as many workouts in as I used to.
Sure.
I kind of would like to do better at that than I have been right now, just because I've done an uptick in doing work stuff since I retired in the last year because of Champion Forward, which I know we're going to talk about, but also some speaking events and running, a farm here in Franklin. It's a lot of fun things. So I'm not in the weight room as much. I'm not exercising as much. It's learning a new routine, learning a new schedule, myself right now in my life. So it's been a real fun season and also a transitioning, challenging season.
One thing that has been true for me is that whenever I've gone through transition, mentors are really important. And that's part of the reason why I started the show, was to hear about people who've got incredible stories. And and not only that, but people that inspire me. So I want to hear from you, what was your first memory of somebody that inspired you, somebody that you looked up to, somebody that maybe became a mentor?
Yeah. Well, I mean, my dad was always my first inspiration, just because, from my perspective, he was the guy that his voice meant the most to me, right? I think for a lot of young boys. And then there was a guy in our hometown who everybody thought of as a legend, Coach Craig Gertis, who he eventually became a coach of mine in junior high, and it was just funny because he was the voice of the high school football team. He was this guy that was like larger than life. He's a big guy, but he's also just got a really unique voice and unique personality. And I got a chance to be coached by my dad, and then I got to be coached by Coach Gertis. And then I had some other great coaches along the way in high school and college and professionally. But early on, that was really what, the foundation of my mentorship. I did look up to basketball players, baseball. Michael Jordan at the time in the 90s was the guy that everybody was trying to be like. In baseball, for me, I grew up a St. Louis Cardinal fan, believe it or not. For Cub fans, I loved Ozzie Smith, at the time, because he was doing flips on the field. I was like apples and oranges comparatively as a player, but these are guys that those are guys that were fun to watch. Less mentors of mine. Or people that I looked up to, and more like they were not role models to me. The role models to me were the people in my hometown that I looked up to, or even older kids at the time who were in youth group or high school sports. Just watching these kids succeed and seeing how they handled it. Those were the types of things that really stuck out to me.
So I've heard you talk about this before, but while I have you, I want to hear about it in the flesh. You won 2 consecutive World Series in a row. So I want to hear just from you off the cuff, what on earth is that like? Is there anything that you can compare that to? I doubt it, but is there anything that you can, to us normies like me, is there anything that you can compare that experience to that you could think of?
Man, probably, you compare it to like something that you think of as it is a dream, but it's also like way more. We're about to hit some branches here. Oh, we got it. I'd come this way.
Now streaming is going to turn into now climbing pretty surely.
Well, I need to go this way. I want to get out of this stuff. I can help it.
Okay, good catch. Yep.
We got it. I'm through.
Okay, right on.
I'm through. Are you through?
I'm through.
I think my boat's a little
almost
heavier
through.
than yours. I'm gonna have to duck these, but I think
we made it.
There's some sort of ominous rope with hooks right there.
That's terrifying a little bit.
Oh,
How's it going, man?
We're good.
Good.
So, might hit the ground a little bit here.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now we're streaming again.
Oh yeah.
Whew.
Okay, so back to what was it like? What can I compare it to? Winning the World Series. Gosh. You know, it's a blur in a lot of ways because it's all happening so fast and you're trying to do your job. So to a certain degree, you feel so proud that I got to do something special. When I was a kid in junior high, we made it to the state baseball tournament. And we also got to ride on our own float for the homecoming parade.
Okay.
Which as a kid, you know, your hometown is that's your place that you feel like you're either famous in your hometown or you're not, and it doesn't really matter elsewhere. At least it was back then. It's not like it is now. But riding in that homecoming parade was the same feeling as winning the World Series. That's the incredible thing is like, it wasn't the scale of winning. It was the feeling of joy of knowing like you worked for something together as a team, you accomplished it together as a team, and now your whole community is celebrating you. Like we did that for the 5,000, at the time, 4,300 people of Eureka, and got to enjoy that. But then how many years later, I'm doing it, 20 some years later in Chicago, and there's 7 million people at the parade. Right, and yes, it was a mass of humanity, and you just see how much sports are such an important part of the joy and that we get to experience as human beings in our culture, because it's something we can all relate to and enjoy together as fans, but also when you play it, it's something to pursue and achieve that really builds a level of character in you over time. That it's the work ethic, but it's also the aiming for something as a team, playing a different role and having other roles that all have to come together to go after this thing, and knowing like, wow, we did it. We did it. It's a really amazing thing to be a part of any team. Doesn't even have to be sports, right?
Yeah.
Any team that you get a chance to be a part of where you play a crucial role or your team worked for something together, whether you were a practice player or a game player, whether you had the winning hit or you sat the bench, you were a part of that team's success that year, and you get to share in it. And while in junior high we may have gotten a nice chicken dinner after that state tournament, and in the World Series you're getting a World Series ring, the reward may be a little different at the end of the but the feeling is not. The feeling's the same, and it's such a joy. But I will say this about the World Series. What was different about that afterwards was trying to come down from that level of stress. Knowing like, wow, there is a lot on the line here, and knowing that it's your job to do it, and there's that many people that really care about it. I don't think it was the stress of performing the role of winning that was the most challenging. I think it was the stress of everything that came afterwards. That was really challenging for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, what do we got going on?
I don't know. It sounds like there's like 40 crows attacking something.
They're either feasting or being attacked themselves.
Okay, now they got really quiet. And I really hope that we're not next.
I think they heard us.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Now they're conversating again. Okay, that's terrifying. Okay, cool. Now streaming or now feasting? We'll find out. Oh,
there
wow.
They go.
They're back. Goodness great. They're so loud. Don't they know we're trying to do something here?
Where are they going? Oh, shoot. Did you see that?
What is that?
That was like a hawk carrying a kill.
Oh.
And then the crows are flying after it, trying to get at it.
Well, that's exciting.
God. We are in the wilderness out here, outside of Franklin, Tennessee.
We are really out here.
Reporting. I'm with Bear Grylls.
Bear Grylls, if you see this, please come on my show. I don't want to go on yours because I think you'll kill me, but please come on mine.
I mean, he'd probably be swimming through this, picking up whatever's underneath.
I joked with
cooking it up and eating it.
The first episode, the CEO of Connect Roasters Coffee Roasting Company. We were paddling the Kankakee River, and I told him I want to have like Michael Phelps on this show, but he doesn't get a boat. He just has to swim the whole time, and in between breaths, I'll ask him questions.
Yes.
So in 2016, you got to go on the Tonight Show.
Yes. Crazy.
And Jimmy Fallon is like one of my idols. I'm trying to be the Jimmy Fallon of the river, which is way more redneck, but I'm for it. But he asked you a question right out of the gate in that interview that I thought was funny. I remember watching it, and he's like, "Okay, so last year you won the series with Kansas City, and then you leave like immediately." And he insinuated, he's like, "Are you crazy? Like, why would you do this?"
Yeah.
But I loved your answer to this, and you might not remember it, but you're like, "I saw 108 years of a gap for the Chicago Cubs, my home state, and I loved that challenge and was excited to jump onto that."
Absolutely.
Man, okay, so what I want to know, first of all, I love that answer. As a Cubs fan, I'm like, let's go. But for you, is that spirit of wanting to build something, want to be a part of a bigger challenge, is that something that's always been with you?
Yeah, I think it was natural when I was younger to. There they go. See?
There they go.
See, he's got it. They're flying after him, trying to get it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
This is really turning into something here.
Seriously. So I think growing up, it was natural for me to want to do something that hadn't been done, because I remember some of the first really athletic goals that I had was being in 6th grade and watching the high school team pursue a state championship for basketball in Illinois. I remember our whole community going down to Champaign, Illinois at the time, to the University of Illinois, and being a part of that tournament, and kind of like, basically, I saw how the response to that, I saw how everybody was excited about it, and I was like, I want to do that. I want to find a way to create that kind of feeling for people in my community. I want to feel what that feels like to be down on that court or be out on that field and be a part of it. So I think they're following us down the river too. They're like,
yeah, it's just a different kind of welcoming parade. It really is. Yeah.
It's another parade. Here come the crows this time.
Yeah.
They're watching, cheering. You know, they want to be a part of this streaming episode.
Well, yeah. Whether I want them to or not, they are here.
They are here. And I think as I got older, the dreams just got bigger. I thought of it as like, wow, every time I achieved something, it was, you know what, there's another carrot to go after. There's the next thing that will be a really fun challenge. And let's go after this, let's go after that. And I would achieve one goal and then get to the next goal. And, you know, to say that a different way in my career, it was if I could just make it to single A, if I could just get drafted from college baseball, and I got drafted. And then once you get drafted, it's like, well, now I'm here, now what?
Yeah.
Well, if I could just make it to single A or double A, great. You do that, then you're like, well, what's next? Triple A. What's next? Hey, if I could just make the big leagues, that would be so amazing.
Yeah.
And then I made it August 1st of 2006. And it's a dream for me and my family and my community and everybody. And wow, I made it. You know, this small town kid from Illinois. And then you're going, but I'm still here.
Yeah.
I have to have some, what am I going for now? It's like, well, let's see if you can stay up here.
Yeah.
So I work really hard. It's the next thing. Well, okay, now I've stayed. I want to become an everyday player. Okay, work towards that, become that. What if I could become an all-star player, get a contract? I got a contract. What if I could become an all-star? Became an all-star. It all happened really quickly, but I'm developing as a human being, developing as a player, trying to figure out what's next. And then it's like, okay, I've done these things. I want to win a World Series. And I get to free agency, right before free agency, I get with one of the best teams and got traded to Kansas City. And there I was winning a World Series with Kansas City. And then I get to free agency. It's like, well, what's next? You won a World Series.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at the Cubs haven't won in 108 years. If I could do that with the Cubs, that would be amazing, right? And go to Chicago, and in the first year we do it, right? So the interesting thing about that is you can keep stepping up to one thing after the other, but at some point, and this is what happened in 2016, I reached the penultimate championship for a baseball player. We win with the Cubs. Not only do we win, and I'm always a decent role player. I was never the star of any team I played on. I was a good role player, and I get thrust into the limelight of being MVP of that series. And then I get asked to go on the Jimmy Fallon show. And I'm sitting there talking to Jimmy Fallon with some of my teammates, like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
This is not, I don't do these things. And what was interesting about that is I loved it, and it was amazing. And Jimmy, by the way, is exactly like he is on camera, off camera. That's how he was with us. He's like, dude, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Like, you guys, watching that series was just unbelievable. You know, he's just, it's just
That's
exactly
like
you would expect him to be, like he was on stage. And which I think what makes his role so perfect is that it just works. It's who he is.
Yeah.
And I feel like after all of that, there was this void. Now, you know, I'm a Christian. I had a great support system. So I had faith, I had family, I had friends, I had a lot of things going for me. And now I have a lot of fame and reward that come with that. And yet there was still something missing, you know? And it wasn't like my faith wasn't enough. It wasn't like God wasn't enough. It was, there was something in me where I still felt like I wasn't enough. And that's where my story of transformation and growth really accelerated in my life.
Yeah, and so that's where I want to go. So, you know, Ben Zobrist post baseball. So coming off of that high, of course, that wasn't your last season with the Cubs, but what was that like for you transitioning into a life after the MLB, after those 2 big wins? How do you come down from a high like that in like any semblance of a healthy way?
Well, I'll just tell you this, I didn't do it in that healthy of a way. I was struggling. I was struggling with sleep. I struggled with my thoughts. Like I was anxious and depressed and trying to figure out what was going on, because I'm like, I should be so happy. And as I started to transition from that World Series and knew I had to get ready to do that job again for another few years, ultimately I was starting to retire before I was finished with my career. So my mind and body were like, wait, you've done everything you wanted to do here. But I was like, yeah, but I still have things I have to do. Like I've got duties, and I got to try to help win another World Series next year. But I have to find a different motivation. So that's the thing that I key on in regard to that question is I had to find a different and new motivation as I was transitioning from what I had always known. What had always driven me in my life was this idea of a fixed goal and go after that goal, because I knew how to work. I knew how to work towards a goal, but I didn't understand growth mindset and a mastery mindset in that this is the actual goal is to continue to transform and grow and become the best version of yourself in every role of your life.
Yeah.
Right? And that's a work in progress. Nobody's ever going to be fully there in this lifetime, in my opinion. But you start to become more comfortable in who you are and more authentic as you go down that trail. And that's why I say that was the beginning of my transformation. And as I started transforming and I started having to set new boundaries in my life, I started having to speak up about some things that I was going through. And things changed a lot in that period of time. And my spaces changed a lot. Like I had to leave baseball after 2019, and I started, you know, being a lot more focused on being a single dad at that time with my kids here in Franklin and trying to learn, okay, what is life going to look like now that this identity that I've carried for a long time as an athlete, it's still, people still recognize me as I was a former athlete, but that's not what I'm doing every day.
Yeah.
So if I'm not doing that, it's not, you know, it doesn't feel like it's who I am. And so I had to figure out, who am I regardless of what I'm doing? Like, you know, if I'm an athlete or if I'm coming home and I'm a dad or I'm, you know, an owner of a farm here in Franklin or something like that, who am I? Who really am I? Those are all just roles. And I want to get into that a little bit as time goes on. But I really had to transition from some major roles in my life at that time and start to learn what do I need to be more authentic. And that really led me into a lot of emotional intelligence work. I had some friends that connected me to some EQ work, and I was already doing therapy, mental health therapy and things like that, counseling, that were really helping me. but that EQ work really accelerated my transition into a new growth mindset.
Yeah, and I want to get a lot more into that. But before we do, what role did friendships play in that season of transition, and especially, and I shared a little bit of my story. Walking through anxiety and some of that there can be a stigma of shame around that.
Oh yeah.
I think there can be a stigma of weakness around that. And so in that season, I had a really hard time opening up about that to anybody. And so I'm just curious on like walking through all that. What role did friendships play in that transition?
Yeah, well, they were super important, and it was important to know which ones to lean into and which ones not to.
Yeah.
And what I found during that period of time is really quality connections that I had in my life were the people that when I told them I was struggling, they were going to step in instead of stepping out.
Yeah.
You know, when people step out on you, it's challenging, but it's also like it might be a gift in the long run because you're learning. I think you just beached.
I think I did too.
Yeah, you're kind of learning as you go where you need to set boundaries and who you can really depend on, right? And I had a number of friends and family in my life that really ran to me when I was struggling with anxiety and depression. And I had other people that ran away. And that's the nature of life and friendships and relationships, I think. But I also started to learn what I was looking for in new relationships. I think relationships can be really complicated, whether they're really close ones or distant ones. But one key indicator I have of relationships that I need to know is if I'm going to be vulnerable with you, will you be vulnerable with me?
Yeah.
If I'm going to show you a level of my struggles, are you going to be willing to show me some of yours? And I'm not saying we need to have the same struggles or even the same opinion of those struggles, but can we both agree that we all have them, and that we're not going to stigmatize anybody that's struggling with it? Gosh, that's important. And I've learned how important that is for people to feel less alone when they're really struggling with anxiety and depression. Yes, that person needs to reach out and be open to being vulnerable, but you have to have supportive people around that are creating that space for you, helping create that space. So if you're somebody out there that has a friend or a family member or somebody that's struggling with anxiety or depression, I just say, gosh, step into the muck and the mire with them and don't try to fix them. One of the most important things to do is just go, hey, I'm here. I'm not leaving. I'm here for what you need me for. You still have to have your boundaries, but I'm here. I'm not leaving, and I'm going to provide what I can provide you right now, and you can process with me, and I'm not going to try to fix you. I think it's hard for somebody going through anxiety or depression to feel like they're stuck and there isn't a quick fix, and for somebody to come in and say, hey, I got a quick fix for you. If you would just do this, if you would just be doing this, you'd just be fine. I've never struggled with that. Like, that's one of the worst things to say to somebody, and it makes you feel, I think some of the communities we reside in, sometimes in the athletic community is one of them. It's one of the communities that I've resided in a long time where it's looked at as weakness, and when you start to open up to people, it should be looked at as a bravery and a courage and a strength to be able to open up about something that you're struggling with. I'm not saying with everybody and anybody, caveat, right? You've got to find who is truly safe and who's not. But absolutely finding the safe spaces to share what you're going through and to make that mutual. It has to be mutual. It can't really just be, well, I have all this stuff going on and you're just listening and counseling me. That's why I'm all for therapy and counseling, because that person can really help guide you and give you some tips on how to do it in a healthier way. But I also think you need to have some mutual friendships that are able to listen And I've had that, man. I've been so fortunate as I got back to Franklin to find other guys that were willing to just be there, not try to fix me, and listen to it and hurt with me and struggle with me and just say, hey, I'm with you in this.
Yeah.
And you're not alone. That's a really important piece to that. There is a time for accountability.
Sure.
But there's far more times to hold people closely than there is to hold them accountable. Yeah. And really, accountability is not for you as much as from you. I think as a human being, if we want to be held accountable to something and we tell somebody, hold me accountable to this, we're doing a service for them, or from it comes from them first. That's good. You know, and it's like, and that's where I feel like the people in my life that I'm willing to listen to challenge me and hold me accountable are the people that I've already said I want you to. Yeah.
Oh, that's big.
And I think we all need that. You need to have people in your life that you say, hey, I want to do this better. Hold me accountable to it. And sometimes we don't want that. It's uncomfortable, right? But you also need people to say, hey, this is not about holding you to any sort of standard. This is about just holding you, like you said, closely and for safety's sake.
I want to read a quote of something you said recently on the Pursuit podcast with Grayson Garvin.
Yes.
You said
a good friend.
That success right now looks a lot more like a direction than a destination. And I really, really loved that quote as you talked about this concept of living in purpose. And I would love to hear more from you on that paradigm of living in purpose and how the goalpost of success has changed, what it looks like for you right now.
Yeah. Well, like I said, as I was transitioning identities from an athlete to more of a human being, because I think to a certain regard, athletes are trying to be heroes. Like the goal of being on the field is how can I be a hero not only for my team and my teammates, but for my community, the people that I'm representing. I need to be a hero out there. There's not time to sit and cry about some things that hurt. It's like, no, we're not going to cry about what hurts. We're going to move into the next moment and try to conquer the day and win the day. That's heroic mindset, a hero's mindset. But a human mindset is, hey, how are you feeling? Yeah. As you're experiencing this heroic pursuit. And I started just diving into that a lot more as I retired. And what does it look like to be a whole human being and less of a machine on a regular basis, to where I'm working, and while I'm working, yes, I'm pursuing heroic pursuits. But as soon as I put that down, I become just Ben. I'm not Ben the athlete. I'm not Ben even the dad in that moment. Can I just be Ben? And that's really hard for people to hear when you say, wait, but as a parent, that is who I am. That's an identity. It's like, I just know, like that, my experience has been, I am performing a role for my kids, and I love them dearly, and that role will change over time in a lot of ways. But if my sole purpose in life is being a dad, that's going to ebb and flow so much. I won't be as consistent of a human being as I will be as long as I'm saying, hey, here's Ben. This is the way Ben performs the dad role. This is the way Ben, because I know myself, this is how Ben is an athlete. I became much more interested in learning who I was outside of all the roles. And that's really where Z versatility, that idea came from, was like, hey, as a player, I had to perform a lot of different roles on the baseball field. So I was known as a very versatile baseball player. A versatile, like a piece that the coach, the managers, the coaches could say, hey, Zoe, can you do this today? And I'd be like, all right, I'll give it my best shot. And I was able to perform a lot of different roles. But I think what made me valuable wasn't any one role. I was never the best at any of those roles. Sometimes not even on my team. But as far as versatility goes, there was a number of years in my career that I probably could have been considered one of the most versatile players in the league. And to be versatile is the ability to move between roles very quickly and to perform your best version of that, no matter what role you're in. And you can only do that, in my opinion, if you find out who you are outside the role. So I endeavored after my career to pursue purpose outside of any role.
Yeah.
And know what I'm really passionate about and what I love to do and how I like to do it and what were the things about my career that made me different than any other player.
Yeah.
And a lot of people wouldn't know. They would say, well, I know this about his statistics. I know this about what his giftings were as a baseball player, but they don't know what I loved about my career.
Right.
They don't know what really drove me in my work ethic.
Yeah.
They don't know that I love to tinker and play with my swing in the cage.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't know that I was always trying to find, that was my favorite part of the day was tinkering in the cage. And then the game was just a way to find out if it worked or not.
Yeah.
It was just a way to put it into practice to say, okay, now let's go back and tinker a little bit more and tweak a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think we need to go right here. Yeah, uh-oh. Woo! Yes.
Oh, we've encountered rough waters here.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. There's the whitewater rapids of Tennessee. Oh, you got stuck. Let's go.
I've been beached.
Let's go. All right. I beached. Uh-oh.
Oh, now Ben's stuck.
Oh, shoot. Ah! I'm going to go backwards.
We can do the rest of it backwards. That's fine.
That's fine.
All right, I'll see you at the out point.
Okay, cool. Ah, yes, sir. Hey, this backwards thing ain't too bad.
I haven't had anybody do that yet. That's a flex. That's a real flex.
Woohoo! Yes, sir. As long as I don't run into a big log back here.
There's a narrow gap up here, but I believe in you.
I don't. I'm going to turn around again. Oh, snap.
Man, look at this pro.
Get me turned fully, baby.
There you go. You got it.
Oh.
Skills. See, we're just out here getting better at stuff.
Hey, it's a growth mindset, right?
Growth mindset. I love it.
Oh, boy. We got a big fallen tree over here.
You think we can get under that? We're going to find out.
I sure hope so. We might have to go around it.
Where's Bear Grylls when you need him?
Seriously.
Or a bigger dog.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Here we go. A nice
I
little
hope we can
river
get under
strainer.
that. Oh, no.
I'm going to get this on camera here.
Oh, boy.
Did you think this would be a part of your day today?
You know what? I did not expect this. I did not expect a giant tree to be potentially blocking our way.
Yeah, I don't think
we may have to carry these things over the tree to get to the next checkpoint.
This is getting real Lewis and Clark here.
I mean, wow. Oh boy. I think we might need to be.
This looks like an out of water excursion now.
I think it does too. Where do we go from here? I think we just got to climb over and lift them over.
That sounds exciting.
Holy smokes.
One thing about me is I enjoy a little bit of chaos.
Oh yeah.
And
Here
this
we
is
go.
this is scratching that itch now.
Here we go. We're going to be getting out.
All right, let's see.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we've got this. We've got this.
All right.
Okay. Here we go.
Oh gosh, I kicked the.
There we go.
All right.
Let's do this. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Gonna...
I got the right shoes on for this, for sure. Okay, I'm going up. Oh yeah, we can just
We've
plop
got this.
down on the other side and we're golden.
Awesome.
I wonder how quick this tree came down. This is probably in the last storm.
Okay.
There was a big
Crazy.
storm here.
Yeah, this is a big one. It does look fresh. There's still a lot of greenery on it.
All right.
Okay.
I'm
gonna set this down. And the riverbed is really flat here. Is this stone? I think this is stone.
Probably why it didn't sink.
That helps.
Okay. I got it.
Awesome. Okay.
One ova.
There's one. And oh, yeah, it's rock. That's slippery.
That's tagging underneath there. Next one. All right.
Hang on, Robin.
Puppy in there?
Yep, he's good.
Hey, buddy. Look at him. Oh, buddy.
He's like, what's going on?
It's like, you almost killed me.
Yeah. What gives, guys?
Robin is good. We are good.
We made it. Until there's another one right up here on the bend.
Hey.
That's all right.
You know what? One at a time, we deal with it.
Okay, so just on the other side of this, just to show you that anything can be overcome with a couple of GoPros and a tiny dog. We did it.
It is no problem.
Let's check in on Robin real fast. Doing okay there, buddy? Go Cubs. I tried to find number 18. They only had 01, so. Okay, so Ben, I want to transition. And I want to talk about this idea of champion forward that has kind of become your new endeavor. And but firstly, when did this idea come to be? What is it, and why name it champion forward?
Okay, well, you know, when you go through what I talked about, when you go through anxiety and depression as an athlete, and you experience that level of pain while you're trying to also perform at the highest level. We know that there's a lot of failure that comes with sports. We know that there's a lot of feelings that happen. I learned as an athlete, you got to just shove it down and move on to the next. And I think that's part of what led me into depression and anxiety when I experienced everything I experienced, because I had just pushed down the emotions that I was feeling, and I didn't really have a safe place where I was sharing that on a regular basis. And now we're starting to see a pretty bad mental health epidemic all across our country, especially with young people, since COVID. And it's not simply the average kid that's growing up, it's also the athletic population. NCAA just came out with a study that said their student athletes are dealing with anxiety and depression at a higher clip than the average academic student now.
Wow.
So if there's something different about the sports used to be taking pressure off for kids. Now it's adding pressure. There's a lot of, when you add in the NIL and the money that's now infused into the amateur market of sports, it makes it a really challenging atmosphere for not just the athletes, the kids, but for the parents and the coaches as well. And we knew that if we start working with young kids around that, we can't just work with kids. We have to work with adults too in that cultural experience. So I grabbed one of my best friends in John Harrison, who has incredible skills himself that were necessary to start Champion Forward. And we formed Champion Forward for the reason of, we called it Champion Forward because what does it mean? What does champion, the word champion, mean? Well, it could be a noun or a verb, and we choose to think of it as a verb. What are we championing? We need to champion something that goes beyond the field, beyond the trophy, and it has to do with people, connections, and what we, after doing a lot of mental health work in the last 5 years, learning from some great mental health boards, both nationally and locally, we said the athletic community needs some of the things that I've learned in the emotional intelligence world, but also things I've learned in the mental health world. We got to find a way to package it that young athletes, parents, and coaches can really grab onto and get on board with, and it doesn't feel like a weakness. It actually feels like a strength to their game and a strength to their pursuit, right? So what we've developed is 3 main things that we talk about with young athletes, parents, and coaches is awareness, balance, and connection. And so when we talk about awareness, we know that emotional intelligence, you have to have a high level of self-awareness, and we've developed some stuff around helping young athletes become more aware using emotions. That's a lot of the work that I did in the last 5 years was group emotional work, and trying to help learn how to do that with other people, but also learn how to facilitate some of that too. Balance is the other thing we talk about. We also know that a lot of priorities get challenged with all the expectations of the sports world right now. And so we talk a lot about priorities and how do you find a way to balance out the things that you're struggling with and start heading in the right direction. We have this thing we talk to people about called the model of movement, where we try to help them move forward in small ways. A lot of this is trying to head off any sort of, give them some mental and emotional skills around their sport that they've never been exposed to before. Mm-hmm. And then the final thing is really about connection. Like, how do you do quality connection with your team, your coaches, your parents? How do coaches do it with parents? How do you deal with conflict? How do you communicate in healthy ways? And we know that, wow, it's just so challenging nowadays when everybody's trying to pursue making it to college or professionally. It's so emotional for a lot of families, and people are spending a lot of money on this type of stuff. So we really just have to do a better job of providing them what they need in order to be not just successful on the field, but successful off the field as human beings, because the majority of kids, even though they're pursuing making it to college or playing D1 or professionally, there's not a high percentage that actually make that. So, we do a podcast ourselves, and we talk about that on a regular basis, and we interview people who are in those seats, who are dealing with those things, and continue to learn about the culture right now and how they believe it's struggling, but also how it can be changed and remedied. So that's where Champion Forward sits currently.
That's incredible. What was the first time you thought about, were you still in the MLB? Were you still playing for the Cubs when this came to you, this idea, or was it after?
No, I honestly, like I said, when my identities role-wise were really falling away in a lot of regards. Yep. Let's try to shoot that. Yep. My identities were falling away in a lot of regards. I was going, I don't know if I'm even supposed to be involved in sports at all in the future.
Wow.
And so I actually went cold turkey. And didn't even watch sports for a couple years after I retired.
Did you say a couple of years?
Yeah, I wasn't even watching. Whoa. I had no idea what was happening in the sports world. I mean, I might watch the occasional World Series game or Super Bowl game, but I was not following it on a regular basis. Definitely not. Oh yeah, we got some whitewater rapids right here.
A little bit of rapids here again.
Here we go.
Let's see. Hopefully we don't lose Robin.
Oh, okay. It was really
smooth.
That was really smooth.
Smooth.
And it wasn't the roller coaster I thought it would be. But yeah, I went cold turkey. I wanted to try to get away from it in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
To find out who is Ben when he's not an athlete and he doesn't talk about that. So a lot of the friendships I developed, it's funny because they were like, wait, you played baseball? Like, they didn't care a bit about that. They were just like, we just became friends because, we liked each other's personality.
How refreshing was that for you?
Oh, so great. It's so important to feel loved for just who you are as a person and not for what you do in your career.
Yeah.
Or even what you're providing someone. And I got a chance to really experience that and build friendships around that side of me. So it was about 3 years after that we started talking about, okay, how am I going to make an impact with the things that I've learned with my people? Because I've always believed, yes, the athletic community is my community. I know far too much. I've experienced far too much in the sports world to just not use any of that and not benefit those people. And also, I know while it's a high achieving and performing community, it's also a hurting community at times where they don't really know. They don't know how to handle it. And the landscape, like we talked about, has changed in youth sports since I was a kid. And so I needed to go back and learn about it and figure out how to integrate some of my experiences and the things that I've learned that I wish I would have had. When I was a kid, nobody knew about emotional intelligence work. That was when Daniel Goleman was just starting to write his book in the 90s to bring that idea and topic to the average person, not a psychologist, right? He was writing a book called Emotional Intelligence, and we had no idea about that. So I still think the sports world is pretty slow in adopting change. Particularly the baseball world is slow in adopting change. But if they know that it can help benefit performance, they're all for it. But when it comes to health, sometimes it's a challenge. It's a challenge to get people to buy into the fact that they need to invest time and energy and resources into doing it in a healthy way, trying to pursue these incredible achievements in a way that's more holistic and more recognizing that there's a human being trying to be a hero here.
Yeah. So you mentioned how different things are now versus when you were coming up. How much different do you think your journey would be if you had a Ben Zobrist championing these efforts when you were coming up? How much different do you think your journey would have been?
Well, I think I would have had some tools in my toolbox. Like everybody knew about physical tools as a baseball player. There was a 5-tool player or a 6-tool player, if you talk about the mental side or the ability to handle, be resilient as a ball player. Everybody knew about that kind of thing. And so, you need to be mentally tough, but nobody really knew about leadership. How do you create quality leadership? And, while I was considered to be a leader in the clubhouse and a leader on some of my teams, I was really more of a leader by example. I wasn't going in telling guys what they needed to hear or trying to help them manage their challenges throughout the season. I was just more like, hey, I'm consistent. I know myself as a player. I know what I need to do well. I know how to work. And that made me, quote, a leader in the clubhouse. But I think leadership is far more than just leading by example. It's not less than that, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
You have to lead by example, but there's more to it than that. If you want to be a great leader, all great leaders have emotional intelligence, whether they recognize it as that or not. They have emotional intelligence because not only are they able to recognize what they're feeling and regulate themselves, or know how to regulate themselves, but they also know how to recognize when someone that they're leading is struggling and help them regulate, right? And if you don't do that, well, what you end up doing is coping in a lot of unhealthy ways. And I've seen a lot of that in the major league level. I think we see that every day in our society in various ways. We all struggle with coping at times when we need to find a healthier way. But that's why we've developed these tools, and that's why we're trying to help this community to say, hey, there's a better way than coping, and there's a better way than the experience you're getting right now. And we want to help you achieve that.
Since you've started, is there a story that comes to mind of maybe a young athlete that has really latched on to what you guys are doing and it's really shaped their journey?
Wow, yeah. Well, my first experience with that I think of is the first ever event we did with kids last year in Chicago. We did an event, and there was a young man who came from a part of Chicago that, let's just say, was a tougher area. And we started working through the model of movement, teaching these kids how to work through the emotions. And this is what we're going to do on our tables as we were leading them through this exercise. And he opened up in that exercise about the fear that he has with his brother, who seems like he might be getting involved in a gang. And the fear he has around that, and he was talking about that to the people on his table, and I'm like, where else does this young, he plays a little bit of baseball, rec baseball in Chicago. Where else does this young athlete have a place where he can talk about that?
Yeah.
Where he can echo that, and somebody else can hear about it and potentially help him walk through that. It's that to me is like, wow, when he starts sharing that openly just through one of our tools that we created, it's like you start opening up doors and having conversations that you would not have around an athletic field normally.
Wow.
And there's a time to do that, right? And there's a time to work and play the game. But if we can create those more spaces like that in the athletic world and just in our world in general, the world of career and performance and all that, if we can create more spaces where things like that can be talked about openly, people are going to get a lot more help and support around. They're going to feel a lot less lonely in those spaces.
So I want to talk a little bit about the modes of Champion Forward and kind of the shape that it takes to reach kids. So how are you guys finding teams and young athletes? Is it through events? Is it through gatherings that you guys do locally? What does that look like right now for Champion Forward, and how do you see that growing?
Yeah, right now we're working with a couple of local organizations with some programs they have in place where they've hired us to come in. We are leading them through some of our tools that help them have these conversations and help them basically create more of an atmosphere of the human around the heroic pursuit. Mm-hmm. And that's starting to be employed here in Franklin, Tennessee, but we're doing a podcast nationally. I do, myself and John Harrison, we do speaking events nationally. We've been flying around, getting the word out about this, talking to potential supporters about what we're doing, and there's a lot of sentiment out there right now of people saying, wow, this is so needed. Yeah. Like, please give us more. So we're trying to hurry and develop as much as we can, responsibly develop as much as we can, but we need more evidence-based metrics for some of the things that we're doing. We know that that's important in the mental skill world, particularly to organizations that have money to spend on the holistic human around the sport. And I think, we have a desire this coming year. We're going to be doing one national conference that we're going to open up to some people here, and we have we're going to do 4 different regional conferences, events where people can come learn about our stuff, learn how to get involved. We're building ambassadors. So if someone's if someone's a parent or a young coach or a coach out there that says, man, I need this for my program or my team, or an athletic director of a program, they can reach out to us and get involved and learn how they can access some of these tools. And we're going to have a lot of free tools, but we're also going to have some tools that help the organization run. And it's just going to be a really awesome opportunity, I think. We've told these organizations that we're working with, we believe they're getting in on the ground floor of something that has so much potential in the athletic world to not only build great leaders and athletes, but really great teams and the potential to, like you said, mentor some of their young coaches, mentor people that they're moving into certain positions, so leadership positions. It's just like if I was a kid getting access to some of this stuff, what it does for your ability to accelerate your growth as an athlete, it just as a human being and whatever you end up doing in your job is just, it's going to benefit their communities, their jobs, their careers. It's got a lot of benefit to it. Yeah. We want to help them.
Where do you see Champion Forward in the next 5 years?
Honestly, I think we have the opportunity to make a national impact. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're doing a lot more locally right now, particularly in Nashville and Chicago areas that I've been heavily involved in. Illinois, where I grew up, where I played, but also the Nashville area here locally. But we have a desire here to create a retreat outside of Nashville here where we can bring teams in. We can bring and train ambassadors that are in our ambassador program, train them how to take these tools and techniques back into their organizations and start putting them into practice in a way that they're leading everybody else in their organization into more emotionally intelligent conversations and experiences in the sports culture.
I want to hear a little bit about Z versatility and kind of the differences between that and Champion Forward and kind of what you're up to in that front.
Yeah, well, Z versatility is really just the things that I do personally, because I'm trying to be versatile in the things that I'm offering to be involved in. One is obviously Champion Forward's a major part of what I've decided to spend my time on post-baseball career. But I do enjoy speaking a lot. I really enjoy speaking to large groups, whether it be businesses, churches, conferences, mental health stuff, schools, you name it. Like, I really enjoy speaking, and I'm looking to do that more. That's part of Z versatility, but I've done a little bit of one-on-one coaching myself too. I like coaching young men in regards to like their personal journey of finding a level of purpose and identity outside of the roles.
Yeah.
And that's where Z versatility is about, like I said, being versatile in all the different roles that you're undertaking. Realizing who you are is not the role. You know, it's how you bring your full authentic self into the role. And you gotta learn who that is. So it's really a lot of identity formation and walking them through some one-on-one work around that. So I love everything I get a chance to do right now. All the different versatile ways I try to make impact.
Well, Ben, man, I'm just floored by everything you've got going on. It's really inspiring to hear how this has all taken shape and how it's already impacting lives. And I've got no doubt that the impact only grows from here. Oh, and I'm stuck again. Whose idea was this? Well, Ben, hey, thank you for kind of letting us behind the curtain today for Champion Forward, with what you're doing with Z versatility and just in your own journey. I really appreciate it. It's been a blast and an honor for me to be able to come out here and paddle with you today. So thank you, man.
Dude, I've loved this, man. This is a super unique idea, and I'm so glad I got to experience it. So what a great day.
So I end every episode with a lightning round of questions. Absolutely. Are you ready?
Oh, let's do it.
Okay, cool.
I'm not a quick thinker, but I'll do the best I can.
In my experience so far, all the lightning rounds have been kind of long. First question in the lightning round, are you ready?
Yep.
What was your first celebrity crush?
Oh, shoot. I don't know. I guess in high school, maybe is when Summer Catch came out. Would be Jessica Biel, maybe.
Okay, there you go.
I don't know.
From Seventh Heaven, right?
Oh, no. Wait, That's not even true. Kelly Kapowski from Saved by the Bell.
There you go.
What's her name in real life? Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What song lives rent-free in your head?
I don't know who actually sang it originally. It might be Matt Maher is maybe the name. I don't know. It's called Lord I Need You.
Oh yeah.
You know that song, right?
Oh, yeah.
I every morning that's the one that like hits me.
You touched on this briefly, but how do you take your coffee?
Yes, I take it. I like medium coffee. I like it hot, and I like some agave and collagen in it, and the occasional. I like to just throw milk in it from the fridge.
Skim milk, 1%, 2%.
More whole milk.
Whole milk.
A whole
okay.
milk guy. Yeah.
Excellent. Ben, if you had a lightsaber, are you a Star Wars fan?
Somewhat. I have lightsabers though.
Okay, sweet.
I have 2 lightsabers.
We could talk about that after this. If you had a lightsaber, what color would it be?
Ooh, I think the color blue. Is there some sort of personality behind choosing what?
You know, we can psychoanalyze that later.
Yeah, that's a psychoanalytic question.
Yeah, I've got some thoughts, but
like
we'll talk.
If you choose
a
red lightsaber, what does that mean about you?
It's probably not good. It's probably not good. Yeah, we can talk more about that offline if that's something you're thinking. Favorite very good. Family vacation.
Family vacation. I love going to Utah with my kids. I take them to Salt Lake City area. I love skiing, snowboarding. That's kind of my jam, the mountains.
Yeah.
Hiking in the summer, hiking, things like that, but skiing in the winter or snowboarding, that's my favorite vacation.
Excellent.
Favorite family vacation.
Okay, so on this next question, I just want to remind you that Chicago is watching.
Oh boy.
And they're watching very closely. But Ben, where is the best pizza? And I want to get specific.
Hey, you know what? I love a good Malnati's, Lou Malnati's, but I do have to say, when I was younger, the first pizza I ever had in Chicago that I loved was Uno's Pizzeria, which less people know about Uno's than obviously Malnati's is a juggernaut there, but I'm definitely I would say Malnati's as far as Malnati's over Giordano's. I just have to say that. I'm sorry to Giordano's people, but what do we do with this? I think I'm going. Where are we going?
Man. Oh no.
Go ahead, I'm following you.
I thought you were coming with me.
I'm following you.
Oh man.
Oh
boy.
I'm a beached whale right now. No way.
All right.
Oh my goodness. Finishing with a flurry. Oh. No. Come on, baby.
We're both stuck.
You're totally stuck. You are right. You're right on a rock, bro.
Yeah, I can feel it.
We're both on rocks. Wait, I'm gonna get through here. I can feel it. No, not that way. This way. No. Oh. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Shout out to Vans. They make a water shoe that lets a lot of rocks in. That's where I'm at the moment.
Shout out to Hoka. Oh gosh. I think we might have to walk through that.
I was gonna say, I don't think this gets better.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Oh, cold. Oh, cold. Oh, cold.
Oh. Dude. Dude, you actually just sunk.
Well, in terms of episodes going smoothly and on time, I regret to say this was not the one.
Oh.
But man,
Yeah.
we did have an adventure.
And what are we doing if we're not doing this, right?
I don't know about you, but my life flashed before my eyes. I thought the river was gonna take me.
I knew there was some whitewater rapids around here.
Yeah.
You know what's amazing is Robin behind you. That's friggin' amazing. That little dog, did he go in the water?
No, he stayed in the whole time. He's got his sea legs.
Dude, he really is. He is something special back there.
If you could live in a country, or if you wanted to live in a country outside of the US, what country would it be?
Ooh, a country outside of the US. Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Oh my god.
Why Switzerland?
My heritage. Zobrist heritage is in Switzerland and I really want to go there.
Zobrist is Swiss.
Like if you look at any travel stuff on Switzerland, it looks magnificent. Like the talk about the hill country, the mountains. Man, I want to go to Switzerland.
I'm gonna find somebody in Switzerland that's cool, and I'm gonna go do an episode of Now Streaming.
Oh man.
In Switzerland.
Take me with you.
But with everything you've got going on, you know, you've transitioned out of baseball, you've got Champion Forward going on, that's growing, it's moving, you're doing mentoring, you're doing speaking engagements. How does Ben Zobrist find rest?
You know what? I find rest in nature, in solitude by myself at times. Like I said, I like to be in the woods, the mountains, anything outside, kind of away from the hustle and the bustle. I love that. I love worship music. spending time with God, just breathing. My farm here in Tennessee, they're kind of places for me to go and be quiet and just listen and catch up to myself a little bit, catch up to what I'm hearing on a spiritual and a soul realm time. You know, I think that is really important for me. You know, I like to physically do activities too. Like this is for me active rest right here, what we're doing, just being able to be out on the river.
So Ben, last question of the show. The world is in weird times, but despite all of that, despite any negative self-talk or whatever else we might deal with, I want to know how you find hope.
And I think you have to find hope in the common ground of a recognition that you don't have it all together. If we can't be humble and recognize that we don't have it all together, we will not come together and be unified. You know, humility is a prerequisite to unity. And I just think that whether you're playing on a team trying to pursue a World Series championship, or whether you're just trying to take care of your people, everybody has to remain humble and teachable.
Well, Ben, thank you for this opportunity to come and have a little bit of an adventure. And it was an adventure. We survived the crows. We almost changed the name of the series to Now Dragging Kayaks instead. But man, this has been a lovely, lovely afternoon. Thank you for being flexible and making this happen. I'm really, really excited to see where God leads you and all the initiatives that you're pouring into. Thanks, man.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity, man.
All right. It's now streaming. Without you, Now Streaming is beached, and Robin will have to go back to working security. He was really bad at it. Subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you next time.